Well, hello to you. It's Croc Talk with Chris Croc. Welcome to the show. We got a great show for you. First of all, you're not going to believe some of the stuff I have on Iran. It's a crappy deal. It's a horrible deal. We did a lot of great stuff though, so I'm not knocking what we've accomplished thus far. But this is a ridiculous deal. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. I'm trying to polish the turd. I can't seem to do that. But there's actually some really incredible pieces that I learned today that you have not heard about why Trump included the word procure a nuclear bomb in the deal, because something that was not known publicly until this particular journalist nailed the story a couple months back. That literally ties into exactly why Trump put that in there. It's alarming, but it's good that Trump put that part in the deal, although it doesn't mean it's going to stop him. However, we also have, unbelievable, a final report. The Texas state legislature had a report commissioned and hired investigators with our tax dollars to really find out who's at fault, what happened, why did all those kids die at Camp Mystic, and you have to hear this. It is a must hear. It is not good news, and it's everything I said and more, because people were saying stuff like, well, the weather didn't come, the weather reports weren't in until blah, blah. Wrong. It's exactly what I told you last July when this stuff broke in the ensuing days. That's coming up. What else do I have for you? Oh my gosh. The scandal, the UFC, up till now, the World Cup has been fantastic. Dallas-Fort Worth, where we're at right now, where I'm at, woo, is the number one place for UFC, or FIFA, I should say UFC, FIFA World Cup. My uncle is en route. He was in Galveston battling a tropical storm. The winds were so bad on Galveston, he and his grandkids and my aunt were out on their balcony on the second or third floor, and their clothes were going, like every inch of their clothes was going, because the winds were insane. That was his trip to Galveston, and now he's en route to Dallas-Fort Worth, where they're going to go to 2 games, and they're going to come over. We're going to have a blast. But I'm really, really happy that we have 1 month of FIFA World Cups here. Very proud of that. And but there's been a slight problem, because it's been amazing with all the folks, and it's been nothing but fun. But today there is a debacle. Today there was a bad thing at the Londoner pub. What looked like a bunch of people having fun has turned into a freaking debacle. And there's one super jerk in this. From England, and they had to shut it down. It was so bad. It was bad, actually, what happened at the Londoner pub at Mockingbird Station. We'll get to that. And the terror plot at the UFC fight, it was headed and spearheaded by and was organized and orchestrated by a freaking illegal migrant, a DACA recipient from former President Hussein Obama, who was getting worshipped at his prison in Chicago on the South Side, in Jackson Park, which looks like a prison, obviously, at his Obama Center. There was a write-up in the Wall Street Journal about that today, and it literally describes it in hideous terms. This is from an architectural journalist in the Wall Street Journal, and he completely eviscerates it. It's remarkable, and it's true. So that and so much more, but first, this show. Oh, and Jim Dutton. Jim Dutton, my friend, my plumber of 11-plus years, my foundation guy of 11-plus years. He has laid pipe under this house, and guess what? That's just the beginning, because the rest of it's going to have to be replaced in the near future. Every single thing, plumbing, foundation, done in this house. Root shields outside, grading around the house, you name it, they do it, and they're the best. So Jim Dutton from Due West Foundation and Plumbing, the host of Texas Home Improvement in Dallas, Austin, and Houston, is joining me in about 20 minutes on this show. You can chime in on, if you're watching live on Rumble or YouTube, you can comment, and I will see it. And if you want to ask a question for Jim on home improvement or something you have going on in your house right now, a problem, pop it in there. I will ask Jim, and he would love to help you like he does every weekend on Texas Home Improvement in DFW, Houston, and Austin. But first, this show is brought to you by my friend. I'm sporting his awesome jersey, my dear friend Randy Martin from IRSprob.com, IRSPROB.com, helping good people with IRS problems, specializing in IRS controversy, IRS audits, and tax planning strategies. Randy really blessed me my first full year of self-employment on my own business here. This is it you're looking at. This week, by the way, filling in Indianapolis all week and having a blast. But I'm my own boss, and Randy Martin has blessed me with my taxes. I will tell you that as a great tax planner. Okay, so first of all, why is Iran a horrible deal? Iran is an absolute horrible crap deal because number one, there is no guarantee that they will not enrich uranium. There is a thing saying that in 60 days we'll have an agreement. There's no deal. The deal is going to be negotiated over the next 60 days, and it might not reach a deal in 60 days. The deal was to have a 60-day negotiation with some agreements. There is no deal. There is no guarantee they will not enrich. There is no guarantee that they will surrender what is left of and what is their centrifuges to enrich uranium. There's no guarantee for sure that they will surrender their nuclear material, the 900 pounds of the nuclear dust of the 80% enriched uranium. I hope it works. I hope we do. But their biggest thing is I read a quote earlier. It's a direct quote from Marco Rubio saying, the mission is our mission, the key mission in here is to destroy their ballistic missile program. That is a key mission, Rubio said several weeks, like in March. The key mission is to destroy their ballistic missile program. And guess what Trump said today? I don't think they shouldn't be able to have their own ballistic missile. They need to be able to defend themselves. So we went from saying we're going to openly, by Marco Rubio, and I trust him and I love Marco. He's been quiet on this because he doesn't like this deal. So is Hegseth. He doesn't like this deal. Our Director of National Intelligence, John Ratcliffe, North Texan, literally told Trump with the intelligence from the CIA, well, the intelligence, our intelligence folks say that Iran behind the scenes is not saying what they're telling us about the nuclear program. They're saying the opposite. So he has no confidence they're going to do what we want them to do nuclear based on our Director of National Intelligence. It doesn't end the ballistic missiles, as it says. They're immediately earning $4 to $6 billion a month, starting right now by their oil being all their oil coffers are full. They're going to go send it out to the world now, who will take it, and they're going to make $400 or $500 million a day, $4 to $6 billion a month, starting right now. And every single bit of that will go to reconstituting their ballistic missiles. I believe the nuclear program. And my friend Eric Erickson said it best, $300 billion, we're not paying for it, but it's a fund that's being funded by Arab countries. And all that $300 we did not, my friend says, we did not destroy their infrastructure. We destroyed their missile factories, their drone factories, all those kinds of things, their industrial war and war-making facilities. So where's the $300 billion going to go? It's not to rebuild civilian infrastructure. It's to rebuild their weapons program. They want to slaughter Jews and slaughter us and terrorize. And by the way, there's no agreement to fund Hamas, to not fund Hamas, Hezbollah, or the Houthis, and to not do terror through them, which they've done for 47 years. So there is no good deal. Trump needed to get out, or not needed to. He chose to get out. He could have finished the job for the most part over the last 9 weeks. He did not, or 10 weeks. He did not. And he chose to get out because the oil crisis. You had Exxon and other top oil executives, Chevron, saying that we are this close to having a world catastrophe shortage. We've had a shortage of 10 million barrels a day for several months, and that's never happened in the history of this planet while we've been using oil as our driving engine for fossil fuels and for powering our cars and engines, etc. So, but here's the big deal. This is something that you have not known, I guarantee you, until today, because I just learned this. A journalist named Gerald Posner, in March, he broke a story called, quote, the Trump administration quietly warned North Korea that supplying Iran with a nuclear weapon would be treated as a direct act of aggression against the United States. The warning went through Beijing, with China enlisted to deliver the message. Why it mattered. U.S. intelligence had picked up Iranian feelers in Pyongyang about exactly that possibility. Iran was talking to North Korea about buying a frickin' nuclear bomb from them rather than building one. This is who they are. Look at point 8 of the New Deal. The word procure is inserted in that address specific to the concern. Iran agrees not to procure or develop nuclear weapons, not just develop them. It's because our intelligence figured out that they were trying to buy a nuclear bomb directly from North Korea. This is some serious, serious stuff. By the way, there's no regime change. The goal was regime change. It's not a regime change. It's the same people, just 2 or 3 layers below, but they're just as bad. They're just as satanic and radical Islamist terrorists. So that is it. Also, the Ayatollah released a statement today, the gay Ayatollah, as it were, the son of the former Ayatollah who's in hell now. And the Ayatollah says, quote, I granted my permission for this agreement. It's just an agreement to negotiate. But the Ayatollah explicitly stated that the American side seeks to make excessive demands. If they do, they will not submit to them. In other words, if he thinks Trump's demands are excessive, they will not submit to them. They have not submitted to demands, and they will not if they don't like them. There is no deal. However, if self-evident that future negotiations will not mean acceptance of the enemy, it says also that future negotiations will not mean acceptance of the enemy's position. I actually have the gay Ayatollah statement. I guess that was it. Oh, yeah. No, this is it, actually. I'm sorry. I granted my permission for the deal. The Ayatollah explicitly says that if the American side seeks to make excessive demands, they will not submit to them. It is self-evident that future negotiations will not mean acceptance of the enemy's position. So basically, he's saying there's no deal, and if I don't like it, I'm not going to agree to it. That's what we have, and that's the truth. Meanwhile, Israel is being attacked time and time again by Trump because he doesn't want them firing back when Israel's being attacked by Hezbollah from the north out of Lebanon. Lebanon does not want Hezbollah. Hezbollah is illegally in Lebanon due to the training, the funding, and the weapons and missiles provided to them from Iran. So the fact that Lebanon does not want to attack or battle with Israel, but Hezbollah is from inside Lebanon. The idea that Trump is saying that Hezbollah can literally strike Israel time and time again, like they did this afternoon, and not reply is insane. And when they did that today and before in the past days, Trump has attacked them and not Hezbollah. And that is so damn wrong. And so I want Bibi to strike whenever he's struck, to strike back, or to strike as they're being struck. They are not somebody's B word. Trump can attack them all he wants, but they need to protect themselves just like we would do. All right? This is a must-hear report. It's short and sweet, but it's powerful. Everything I said about Camp Mystic, where 28 people died, 27 people died in the flood in Central Texas. 25 campers, those beautiful, sweet little girls, and the youngest ones were the ones in the cabins that were closest to the flooding, and they died. Those precious little girls. I met one of the men who lost his 8-year-old daughter. He spoke. It's at a ministry that takes children hunting and shares the gospel with them. And he and his wife, who lost their little beautiful girl, I think I have his card in here. Somewhere right over here. I don't know where I put it. I wanted to share her name with you. See if it's here. No. Sorry, I misplaced it. The point is, it's around here somewhere. I'll share her name. His beautiful little daughter loved to hunt. There's pictures of her with a rabbit, holding that rabbit up by the ears that they bagged, in a hunt. And other animals, deer and stuff. She's 8 years old. She loved it. And she died at Camp Mystic. A dad and his wife started a fund and a ministry to have children hunt. And then when he met my friend and my mentor, one of my mentors and friends, who I fill in for Sunday school at First Baptist Dallas, who does this ministry. He's done this ministry now for 10, 15, 20 years, and it's very successful. They take children hunting. They share the gospel with them. They take them hunting and fishing. They bag the real deal, the big bucks, the little bucks, the cougar, whatever they can bag, they bag. Deer. And so this man who lost his daughter found out about this, and he decided to pour his funds into this fund and join with this hunting ministry. It's called Christian Outdoor Ministry. If you Google it, just Google Christian Outdoor Ministry. It's a hunting ministry based in Dallas-Fort Worth. It is an incredible organization. And so he joined forces with them in memory of his beautiful daughter who loved to hunt. Now I'm going to give you the report, because the report is, and I really mean this, it's everything I said. I said that there was no excuse, that nobody had to die, that the warnings by the National Weather Service by 1:14 in the morning made it clear to get the hell away from the river. There was going to be catastrophic flooding, and they didn't. Now let's go to the report. This is from Texas Tribune via WFAA TV Channel 8 today, and it's a nice short, very short story with the bullet points from the state investigators that were hired by our legislature. And here we go. Camp Mystic did not have state-required written emergency plans or adequate evacuation measures that could have prevented the deaths of 25 campers. No emergency plan, no adequate evacuation plan. Death by negligence. There was a cascading failures that led to the tragedy, communication lapses between state and local authorities, and I did rip the hell out of the sheriff for not going in with on loudspeakers, having his deputies go to all these camps and just go on loudspeakers. Get out now, get out now, get out now. They failed. Also, some state folks did too. But the biggest the reason why 27 girls and people died is not because of the weather. It is not because of the state, and it's not because of the sheriff. It's because Camp Mystic failed to properly run a camp to protect its campers. They are criminally negligent. I've said this to you. And they were doubling down and tripling down and ridiculously unapologetic to the point where they were forced into apology over an open lawsuit that we talked about a month or two ago. It was vile. The one of the women, a namesake of the camp with Camp Mystic, the Eastland family. She's a nurse, and on the night this happened, she abandoned the campers and saved her own family, her own girls, but abandoned the campers. And she did not try to save one life, and then she, by law, as a nurse at the camp, was supposed to report a death within 24 hours. She reported no deaths. A year later, she still hadn't reported any deaths. That was the other month. Still no deaths. They literally revoked her nursing license because she's completely in violation of all this stuff. They may have given it back to her or suspended it or something after that, but that's what they did first. And when disaster struck, like it did on July 4th last year, it may as well have been no plan at all, the investigators said. Inability of camp counselors to reach the camp's owners during a flood. They were totally left on their own. Here we go. Here's the bullet points that are powerful and important. Camp Mystic did not have written emergency plans that complied with the state's requirement. Investigators say camp leadership did not have state-approved emergency plans posted in each cabin for counselors and campers other than instructions to shelter in places, which is what they told them to do, which is why they died. Staff members and counselors were assigned and staff members and counselors were not assigned any responsibilities in the event of any kind of evacuation. Nobody was assigned anything for an evacuation. This was a fatal error, the investigators say today. Camp Mystic did not adequately prepare for the storm. The camp had received weather alerts, warnings of a storm on July 3rd, the day before. Camp investigators said Camp Mystic, quote, had the means to inform itself and to appropriately protect its campers from severe weather. None of this had to happen. They had the means to not die. Quote, our investigation showed that apart from what Dick Eastland, the owner who died that night trying to save girls, but again, he was criminally negligent, our investigation showed that apart from what Dick Eastland was likely doing, nobody else at the camp was watching that night. Nobody. Come flood the camp and kill our girls as we told them to stay in the frickin' cabin. And, you know, they wanted to open. Camp Mystic was, as of about a month ago, was ready to open. And they were fighting the state because the state was saying, you ain't opening. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick was saying, you ain't opening. We're not doing our investigations. And they were like, no, we're ready. And there were 900 or 700 girls that were signed up to go. Families were still trying to get their kids into a camp that has no plan to protect these kids, which is why they died. Camp Mystic did not evacuate in advance of the storm, despite ample opportunity to do so. At 1:14 a.m., which is exactly what I said almost exactly 1 year ago today, in late July, I said the report showed clearly that at 1:14 a.m., the National Weather Service sent a flash flood warning. That was hours before they started dying. At 1:14 a.m., investigators say the National Weather Service sent a flash flood warning Dick Eastland called his son Edward for help shortly after 3 a.m., almost 2 hours. Almost 2 hours they had to evacuate safely. Instead, no instructions, no communications, no comms between any of the counselors in the camp in each cabin. And the camp counselors, as you're going to hear, were too young. They were inexperienced. They had no plan, and they were told to shelter in place, and their cell phones were taken away from them. They have no way to communicate. They were left to fend for themselves, and they died. Camp leadership confiscated counselors' cell phones. Oh, I didn't finish this. Dick Eastland called his son Edward for help shortly after 3 a.m., almost 2 hours after they should have left with the catastrophic flood warning at 1:14 a.m. Investigators say in that time, the campers could have been instructed to evacuate to higher ground. They had 2 hours to get away and live. Nobody had to die. I cannot tell you the rage I would have if this was my daughter. When I talked to the gentleman who lost his daughter, I told him how disgusted I was with everything. Told him, that I'm a radio guy and a podcast guy. And you know what he did? He didn't get mad. He didn't flash anger from them or disgust. He overlooked it. He had the eyes and the spirit of a man who had made a decision some time ago that he was going to let God take care of that. And he said, I will come on your show if it's to talk about my daughter and about how we're doing this plan. But he does not want to talk publicly about what happened. I think this man, the eyes I saw of this man and his maturity are absolutely beautiful. I saw a man who is way better at handling this than I would be if I was in his shoes. He is literally letting God help take care of this for him. And I know he wants justice. And I know he knows he was completely robbed and this is criminally negligent. But he's doing it the right way. And I'm really amazingly proud of him. Camp leadership confiscated counselors' cell phones while on site. So they never had cell phones. They had camp counselor cell phones were confiscated while at the campsite. The report found that and did not provide the counselors with replacement equipment such as radio or handheld transmitters that they could have used in an emergency. Do you understand that teenage girls were in a camp with 18 or 20, however many of it was, or 10 or 12 little girls that were going to die, and they had no way of reaching the adults, saying, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? This is catastrophic. It's unbelievable. And sick. The camp normally employed 3 counselors per cabin, but reduced the number to 2 in certain cabins. A senior counselor expressed to the camp's leadership that some of the younger teenage staff struggled to keep up with their cabins and needed assistance. They screwed the kids by having it cut down and not enough kids. The report also said having older, more experienced counselors at the camp could have helped prevent more deaths. Lastly, the reunification efforts. You remember how much of a disaster this was? This was like 9/11 where people were putting up posters, where's my freaking loved one? The reunification efforts and incident management after the storm were chaotic, which led campers' parents being unnecessarily traumatized by incomplete and conflicting information as they waited to learn whether their children survived. This, I will never back down from this, and I'm doubly, it's been doubly proven to me by this state Texas legislature report they commissioned and hired investigators for. This is criminally negligent homicide, 27 counts. I am so angry. It's not my kid. I'm hurt. I'm angry, and I'm disgusted with the Eastlands. And I go back. I said earlier. I've said this on and off. I said this for months and months since like a year ago. You can be Christian, and I'm not doubting their faith and their Christianity, their salvation. And you can be criminally frickin' negligent. You can be arrogant. You can be lazy. You can be haphazard, and you can lead to people dying because of your criminal negligence. And that's what this is. We're going to talk to my friend Jim Dutton in just a moment on how to take care of your house in this horrible weather. Talk about all sorts of stuff I got on my phone to talk to him about with, let's see here. Faucets, HVAC, pest control, roofing, a whole bunch of stuff. And if you want to ask a question on home improvement, you can chime on. You can go to my feed here at YouTube or Rumble, which is right here. I'll put it up on the screen for you. You go there and follow me there. You can comment in real time. It's streaming live on YouTube or Rumble. Those addresses right there, Croc Talk. And you can ask a question about home improvement if you'd like. I love having Jim on. We have a lot of fun. But first, this show is brought to you by IRSprob.com. That's IRSprob.com, helping good people with IRS problems, specializing in IRS controversy, IRS audits, and tax planning strategies. Let's do a few pictures. Here's Randy when he was invited to speak at UT Austin, his alma mater, the best accountancy school in the state where he went. And here he is with the Chirins, the college students, after he gave the lecture. They're so young. And look at him. There he is. He was right there behind behind the scene there with those kids when he was young. Now he's the guy giving the speech. It's awesome. Here's Randy, me, and George Bond and Ray about 8 to 10 years ago when we first started working together. We were so young right there. Look at that. Oh, young pups. And so Randy's just amazing for my business. He's been my CPA and tax planner for 10 years. There's Marcos Lopez. Hey, brother. He says, you're a true journalist. Thank you, my friend. And if you have a death in the family and there's IRS problems, if you have a business, maybe you're behind on your taxes, good people, helping good people with IRS problems. Or if you just want a good tax planner, maybe you're doing great, but you want a good tax planner. Randy is incredible. He blew me away with my first full year of being self-employed last year, and it's gangbusters awesome. So thank you, Randy. Also, this show is brought to you by my friend Jim Dutton from Texas Home Improvement. In fact, you know what we're going to do? Let's get my friend on the phone. I'm going to call him. I like doing commercials with him when he comes on the show. We'll see if he likes it or not. We'll see if he thinks I'm spot on. We're going to put him on the phone. Let's see here. Let me get Jim on the phone.
Hello.
Okay, hold on one second. Where are you, Jim? Hold on one second. Let's see if I can get you on there. All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, hold on one second. Oh, yeah, I got to get my headphones on. Sorry. I got two different setups here. Okay, Jim, you're on the show, and welcome to the show, Jim Dutton. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Well, I figured I'm going to I had to do my Due West commercial and then my interview with you. So I'm going to do it with you on the phone, and you can correct me, rebuke me, all that kind of stuff. So Due West Foundation and Plumbing. Jim Dutton, this is a three-generation business. His dad started it in the 70s. And Jim, of course, was raised in the business. Jim, how old were you when you started working with Due West Foundation and Plumbing with your dad?
Oh, let's see. I was in high school, so probably 16.
So, I mean, you were working when you were 16 years old in Foundation and Plumbing, and that's why you have a show. You're the host of a show called Texas Home Improvement in Austin, Dallas, and Fort Worth, Dallas-Fort Worth, and in Houston, on all the big talk stations and on TV here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Home Improvement, because you've done it all. You've seen it all, haven't you?
I have. I mean, back then I wasn't just doing foundation repair, sheetrock work, roofing, framing, you name it, we did it.
Yeah. So, okay. So, Jim does a Due West Foundation and Plumbing. Here it is on the screen here. You go to dewest.com, du-west.com. And Due West has done everything on this house since before I even bought it, actually. They did a static test on the plumbing. They did a foundation inspection. And they told me my foundation was actually on the bubble, and if I did this and this and this, that it would be fine. And here we are years later, it's fine still. Very little issues with any cracks in the walls or doors getting jammed. Although, Jim, that does happen even sometimes a little bit, right? Even when you do your watering your foundation properly, a little bit, or no?
Oh, it can, because the weather's so extreme. I mean, we can go from a severe drought where the soil's drying out 15 feet deep to a month later, we're ahead on rainfall and it's soaking in slowly, but it's soaking in, and so things move.
Yeah, here's what's peeving me off. I've got, my awesome addition I got put on. One of you guys they're still one of your sponsors, aren't they?
Yes.
DFW Improved. I won't say it again though, because they're not one of mine. They need to be. But you know how that works, right? They get one free, freebie. Anyways, my new garage with the garage door coming in is perfect, and then all of a sudden it's got a little bit of a catch, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm watering my foundation 15 minutes every morning, 15 minutes every night, year round, but that can still happen a little bit. It's not the end of the world. It's still closing, but it's a little stiff.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then also my plumbing. I mean, you guys replaced 17 feet of plumbing under my foundation, my concrete, my slab foundation. And when you do that, as you taught me, you dig all that dirt out to get under that plumbing. You can't put it back in the way it was already packed in under the house at the beginning. So you got to do foundation work, which you did. And every renovation, my water heater. I still haven't called you. My water heater, the little springy thing at the top, it was leaking. And what's that thing? Where's the little pipe that comes out of the foundation where your water heater, if it does leak out?
It's you're talking about the pop-off valve, and that's to relieve the pressure.
Yeah, and there's a little spout coming out of the side of my foundation nearby there for it to drip, I guess, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just to relieve the pressure so it's not going in the house. But,
yeah, go
Chris, really, I mean, if you want, I'll have somebody call you at 6:30 in the morning to remind you.
Hey, can I tell you something? You can freaking do that. For once, you can call me at 6:30 in the morning. Never call me at 6:30 in the morning except tomorrow because I'm filling in Indianapolis and I'm getting up at 5 in the freaking morning. I go on at 8 a.m. So you can call me. I'm going to call you at 6:30 if I don't hear from you. I'll call you at 6:35.
I'm up doing paperwork at 6:30,
what
so
the
it's not
heck?
a problem.
Hey, what are you doing at 6:30? What are you doing? I'm doing paperwork. What? What is wrong with this picture?
Well, I get up every morning at 6:30. I'm going through all the numbers, making sure that transactions that were supposed to happen the day before, everything happens.
Yeah.
I send them on to my bookkeeper and staff accountant and get everything lined out, make sure everything's ready to go for the day.
And here's the phone number if you want to call them, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty on home stuff for this time of the year. Okay, so if you want the best, call Due West, du-west.com. That's du-west.com. Or call 972-406-0912, 972-406-0912. Tell them Chris Crock sent you. And they do concrete leveling, retention walls, plumbing, foundation, and root shields like they've done for me, as well as grading around the house if you have to, like you guys did for me, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's chime in with Jim now on what's going on with the home improvement stuff. It's hot, as we just talked about. There's a lot of stuff going on, and here's my questions. Oh, so I officially am getting a roof put on, and my roofer is a sponsor, and it's Blue Ribbon Roofing. That's blueribbondfw.com, blueribbondfw.com. Thank you very much. And one of the things that they found was the last roofer that did my roof only like 7 years ago. And my insurance company did say it's qualified. It needs to be replaced. They wrote a check already. It's official. And he knew that the code in my city, it's mushy when you go up on the roof. That's not right, is it?
No, it needs to be stiff. Usually, if it's mushy, you got either some wood that got wet, or you got a crack raft or something. Something's out of kilter.
Yeah, so it's been mushy forever, and he says it's because the decking is too thick. It's like way back when decking. It was never replaced. And the last guy that did my roofing should have known this. The code in my city, and probably most cities, says if it's not a certain thickness, you can't replace the roof. You got to do the decking. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but it's not. It shouldn't be that it was too thick. It would be too thin.
That's what I meant. It was too thin, and so they're replacing it with 7/8 or something like that. Or I don't know, with 7/16. I couldn't tell you. What do I know? But they're also going to put standard radiant barrier in there underneath the decking. That sounds good to me. How about you?
Yes, I always recommend radiant barriers. I'm in my own house right now. Doing some remodeling here. We tore out some ceilings today and stuff.
Oh boy!
And I got to tell you, I recommend a lot of times a radiant barrier that lays on the attic floor.
Oh, the attic floor.
And to tell you how well radiant barriers work, we tore off the ceiling today, and you know how hot it was today.
Yes.
Air conditioner had no problem. You could put your hand up by it. There's no heat. Radiant barriers block the heat transfer. They do a beautiful job.
I have a question. The high-end air conditioning company that we both worked with, for several years, they did my system. There was some dripping on the, what are those called? The registers where the air blows out of in the ceiling, and there was some dripping, and they had to come back time and time again. They sealed it off beyond sealing, beyond recognition, all the way. The boots, in the attic, because the cold can't meet the hot without it dripping.
Right.
All of a sudden, it's dripping again on one of my registers. Now, admittedly, my attic is not insulated to the where it should be. It's older, So, I mean, do I just, if they've already sealed it up, I doubt anything's changed since they sealed it up 3, 4, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I mean, I think it just probably needs some insulation around there. Was that your guess too?
I guarantee you that's what it needs, is some insulation around it.
So if I just buy a bag of loose insulation, I could just throw it all around there, and that should be good enough in your opinion?
Yeah, but Chris, if you weren't so cheap, you'd insulate your attic and things. You wouldn't have to worry about that.
That's exactly right. If I just do that, that should take care of it. All right, so I'll have to do that. I got you. Check mark. Check. Let's go to quick tips. I know we did roofing before, but just a real quick thing. What do we need to know about like real quick things about if you're going to hire a roofer, don't do this or do this, and then so that you don't get ripped off. I say go to blueribbondfw.com, but go ahead.
Well, the first thing is you go to a roofer who's in business here in the area. Don't, when hailstorms come through, don't pick up somebody who's knocking on your door, who's from out of town and says, "Oh, let me take care of that for you." Use the guys that have a brick and mortar office. They're legit. That's a huge issue. Every single year, people get ripped off because they sign away their insurance or they hand the check to a roofer and he just disappears.
Let's talk about pest control. We share the same pest control guy. He's incredible. He's been my guy for like 10 years. And let's talk about any pest control tips for right now. I mean, I noticed my rat. I got, we have the same pest control folks, and my rat bait stations. He drew up a diagram on my house. I showed him what my houses look like. Drew the diagram. He told me where to put the stations. They will not get eaten up on that bait for months, and then all of a sudden, 2 of them, boom, they're all gone. It's amazing.
Well, and that air conditioner you were just talking about?
Yes.
You could have had one run through the attic that moved some insulation up there.
Thanks for the thought of a rat being in there. Do you know, Jim, that's exactly why I went to these guys like 10 years ago, about a year into this being in this house, because there was some rats up there, some little ones. I didn't know, and then we saw something, and we're like, ah! They were never in the house, but they were, And so
the thing is, at this time of year, they're just like we are. They're trying to stay someplace where it's not so hot.
Right.
And so if one did run through the attic and he found that cool vent, that's a nice place for him to cuddle up. Well, that creates an open space then when he walks away, that the hot attic air is hitting that metal boot again.
Yeah.
And you're dripping.
So it's that easy.
It is that easy. But that and that's at this time of year, you're going to be dealing with some of the rodents and stuff. You're going to be dealing. We just got done with termite season.
Oh gosh, Jim.
And we're not even 100% done because I actually saw some yesterday again.
By your house?
They are still out. No, not by my house.
Oof.
Thank God.
Yeah. Because also your producer Brian McFarling, friend of mine too. He told me, because I have never gotten the termite protection, and I work closely with our pest guy, and I could do it through him and do it myself or whatever, but I was kind of given a good heads up about, look, they still could come from underneath your house. You won't know until they eat away inside of your house, but oftentimes you'll see a mud tube coming up on the side of the foundation. And since I do my own yard work and I do my own pest control, I would notice a mud tube. So would you agree it's not guaranteed, but it's a pretty safe bet if you're monitoring that year round? You probably would catch most of them, no?
Well, I'm sure hoping it's that way because I don't buy that protection either.
Okay, see, holy crap! This is another mega tip. Seriously, how many of us? Because I've wanted to do the freaking termite thing on and off. I've come to the precipice, but I can't spend that kind of money. And then I learned that is it basically like both you and I are like, if we really know what's going on around our foundation, we should see something, a little bit of a mud tube to catch it most of the time. Is that it?
You are normally going to either see the mud tube. You will at this, in the spring like this, see them flying. The other thing is if you start seeing in your sheetrock just a little hole that appears and it looks like some dirt and you brush it off and it comes back, you got termites. Just get it treated. As long as you do it early on, you can take care of them.
So, Jim, this is when you say, I didn't know that. The first one is see them flying around. Now, there is like an ant that has some wings that is not a termite. I don't see tons of them. I see them every year, and I've looked it up sometimes. I'm like, okay, that's not a termite. There is some kind of an ant that has some wings.
Yes, there is.
Okay, so we just look it up. You can tell the distinction, but you also
You can tell by the body and the wing size.
okay. The wing size is bigger or smaller?
Oh, I don't remember.
That's okay. Neither do I. That makes two of us. We got two experts right here. We got frickin' frack. You can listen to us. The other thing is, I'm having fun, Jim. Let's go to the Londoner pub and then go get some FIFA tickets and let's go watch a game and go nuts. What do you say? Let's. But what was I going to say? Okay, and you said dirt is the other thing. You would see what looks like dirt on the inside of your house.
Yeah, on the sheetrock itself.
So literally, like where it's painted though, like I mean, your walls painted, you could see little dirt spots on there. How does that happen?
Well, when the termites get in there, they'll start eating through the paper that's on the sheetrock.
Okay.
And that little hole that comes out is basically an air hole.
So oh my gosh. Wow. So as soon as you see that, you call termite people. They'll treat it and they'll figure it out. And it probably won't be too expensive if you catch it early on, huh?
It's not. It's not if you catch it early.
This is great. You just saved a lot of us a lot of money. I can tell you that right now. That's awesome. Okay. What else do I have for you here? What do we need to be doing right now around the house? It's summer. It's obviously hot now. It's going to hit 95 to 97 today, or it did already. Anything on that you want us to know about that we should be?
Well, it's kind of funny because we've been having so much rain.
Yes.
And the news keeps saying how we're ahead on rainfall and stuff. And that's all great for the lakes, but it's been coming so fast it's not soaking deep down in the ground. So if you haven't been watering because doing the soaker hoses around your foundation because you think we're getting enough rain, you're not. Just keep my phone number. You can call me, in the fall. I'm more than happy to do the work.
I'm going to put that up right here for you. It's 972-406-0912, 972-406-0912, du-west.com. Make Jim rich. Keep not watering your foundation, right, Jim?
Yeah, absolutely. But, Chris, I did want to address something that's in the news tonight.
Okay, good.
I don't know if you saw it.
Let me see.
There is in Capel, they were working on a foundation, doing some repairs.
Tell me about this, because I saw the headline, but I didn't get into it. Tell me what happened.
Yeah. A tunnel collapsed.
Jim, this is foundation work?
I've heard it two different ways. I heard that a piece of the foundation dropped, but I'm seeing the pictures, and it looks like they had a deeper tunnel than normal. They had it stair-stepped back, but they didn't stair-step properly, and it looks like it tipped over. Because I'm seeing dirt that I shouldn't be seeing when I'm looking at the pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is where it becomes important who you hire, that they've got the experience, they're doing the safety things. The National Foundation Repair Association, I teach classes every year, except this year because they happen to book it when I've got a trip planned already. But every year I teach classes on proper ways to do foundation repair, safe ways to do tunneling and things like that. And everybody always thinks, yeah, I know. You got to pay attention to the details. This is what gets people hurt.
Jim, I'm looking at the report. Rescue underway after trench collapse traps worker at North Texas apartment. Incident happening during foundation work, as you said, at Sage Hill at Cypress Waters apartment complex Thursday afternoon. Responders were called at 3:40 p.m. Worker trapped while working on the foundation apartment complex as concrete was being poured. Should you be working on a foundation while concrete's been poured?
Well, I don't know what they were doing because
right.
I can see in the pictures that building already has some steel piles around the perimeter of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they were pouring.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm really kind of wondering about and want to see what's going on further because normally you wouldn't be pouring concrete in the tunnels.
Yeah, if somebody's under there, they shouldn't be pouring concrete. It's just a rough guess out of nowhere, shot in the dark for me, right?
No, not necessarily,
okay.
Because there are times where I've poured concrete beams in tunnels.
Okay.
So there are times where you do something, but they were also inside trying to cut through to get down to them. So I'm not sure what all's going on.
Yeah, I'm looking at the video while we're talking. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we're going to have to wait and see more details of what took place. I just hope that the person that's trapped is okay.
It's terrifying to me.
Yeah.
When you guys were here and you only did 17 feet, Jim, And the tunnel's about 3 feet circumference, right? That you guys dig?
3 feet tall, three feet wide. And you got to slope the sides so that it doesn't tip over on you and stuff like that.
My gosh.
Take it all the way up to the concrete,
Yeah.
so you don't have any dirt above you.
Yes. So I got a little bit. I'm afraid to go down there. It's scary.
It honestly, it's some of the best working conditions in the business
because you're cool?
The temperature is constant year round.
Okay, that's interesting. So it's cool and quiet down there. Nobody's nagging you.
Yeah.
you don't have to
the cell phone doesn't work.
Yes. It seriously, does it not work under there? Have you ever?
It works fine.
Okay. What the heck? That's hysterical. Okay, so this is really some interesting stuff. And then my shower, I have travertine. I hate travertine. I would never get out. I want to blow up the shower. I haven't replaced it yet, but you have to every year. You really have to reseal it, don't you?
You do, because that's a very porous material,
and
soap will build up on it, and it starts looking really bad.
Yes. And so one year I saw what looked like a little bit of a mold, and just in the lines, in the grout lines a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I have instructions from our mutual friend Shelly from Floor and Decor. She's the best. She's incredible.
Yep.
She's an awesome person. You know that, and I know that. She's a wonderful woman. And so she gave me a prescription of first of all, you buy this 20-year sealant, and it doesn't last more than a year. It's like, why does it say 20 years on the stupid freaking thing, and I got to pay all this money, and it lasts 1 year? But number two, it's like she says, use a steamer to kill any mold and to clean it, and use a little bit of bleach and some, Fabuloso cleaner or whatever, and Mr. Clean. So I do all that, and then I reseal it, and then about 8, 9, 10, 11 months later, I can start to see a little bit of mold resurface, a little bit. Does that mean I should replace the thing probably?
Eventually you need to replace it, because what the mold is telling you is moisture is getting through behind it. And that's where it actually grows, and then it starts showing through to the other side.
Oh boy. Yeah, so that's going to need to be redone then. Okay. Yeah, because we go about, when I do it, it goes almost a full year, but that's still going to happen. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. I knew that answer. I didn't want to hear it. But
now, to minimize it.
Yeah.
When you take a shower, you need to use a squeegee and dry it off as best you can. Leave the shower door open so air gets in there.
That's it.
To dry it out, and that'll minimize it.
That's literally what I do. I don't squeegee the tile. You're saying I should actually squeegee the dang tile?
Yeah, it helps.
Okay. And it's only on the bottom. It doesn't come on the sides or anything whenever it comes up within a year. But I do leave the door open, and I leave that freaking fan on. I bought a powerful fan, massively powerful one in the ceiling. It's like a Panasonic. It was like $200 or something. It was insane. It senses moisture. When it senses any moisture, and I have it on like the second highest. If I was too high, my hair would get sucked up into the ceiling, Jim. I swear to you. But so I have that, and I leave that thing open, and I run that thing for like 8 hours, man. I swear, because it's like I don't want to see that crap.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Anything else for summertime? I mean, obviously we got to get if you haven't had your air conditioning stuff serviced, you got to do that for sure.
You're already behind the 8 ball on that.
Right.
I mean, need to get that taken care of.
Yes, and then check your filters. Even though I've got the 3-inch wide ones that are 6 months, that doesn't mean 6 months. It could be two months, and you replace it depending on the use.
It all depends on what you're doing in the house. I mean, for the normal house, it will go. If it's 6 inches, it'll go 6 months. But if you're doing a bunch of stuff in the house that's creating dust and that, you're not going to get 6 months.
Right. Like I had a cat and a dog. The cat's out of the house now, but the dog is still here. That affects things. And then also I run it a lot on this side of the house in my studio because it gets hot in here with all the insulation and all that. So
did one of the kids take the cat with them?
Yes. Lydia left, and this is what's insane. What were you like when you only have you have 2 boys? You have a daughter. You have a daughter, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
You have 2 boys and a daughter. I'm sorry, because I have never seen her too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't recall. I know you have daughters-in-law. That's right. You have a daughter, and she's married. I forgot all about that. So sorry about that. I'm in trouble. But was it hard for you when they started leaving the nest? Because like Faye was like, my wife was like. She's like, get him out of here. I'm like, what the heck? I don't want him to leave. I love him. So were you? Which one were you in that case?
Uh, I was fine.
Yeah,
It was a little harder on Mary than it was
that's it.
me.
It's a little harder on
But
me.
it's funny though. They all wanted to go get away and all this kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And Adam now lives 5 doors down from me.
That's awesome.
Johan is an 8-minute drive, and Sarah's an 8-minute
That's
drive.
fantastic. Sarah, that is wonderful, isn't it? Isn't that beautiful? It really is.
Yep, yep,
My parents live right like 8 blocks from my younger brother, and they've got little ones that are much younger than ours. And it's a beautiful thing watching the grandparents take care of those kids and be there with them all the time. It's really beautiful.
yep.
Jim, I appreciate you. And I want everybody to use Due West like I have for over 11 years. They're the best plumbing, foundation, you name it. du-west.com. Jim Dutton from Texas Home Improvement and Due West. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you.
My pleasure. You take care.
You too, brother. All right, there he goes. I got much more show material to get into as well that I want to do. And first of all, I've got the UFC terror plot. It's an illegal migrant. An illegal migrant. He's a DACA recipient. Look at this maniac. Barack Hussein Obama, former President Hussein Obama, and Mrs. Hussein Obama, gave this guy DACA. He came here as an illegal. Barack Hussein Obama gave him everything. He is a dreamer. He is a migrant. And then he tried to murder a lot of people. He's also, shocker, these people are the best. They built this country, these illegals. Right. Shocker, he is an anti-capitalist. He is a Bernie bro. He hates Jews, and he hates Republicans who take support from AIPAC. That's who he wanted to murder. He had people like, I saw Marsha Blackburn was on the list. Some of the Republican, and I'm filling in this week, I told you, in Indianapolis. And I'm going to tell you what Senator Jim Banks, Indiana Senator Jim Banks, said, and about a couple of the congressional delegates, or not delegates, but congressmen and congresswomen from Indiana that were there that could have been slaughtered, among others. I'm sure there were Texas ones there, too, where I'm sitting from. But here we go. White House UFC terror plot ringleader, quote-unquote, is an illegal. Abraham Alvarez, identified as the alleged ringleader of the plot to carry out the mass casualty event at UFC fighting, is an illegal immigrant from Mexico. He came to the U.S. as a child, was granted DACA. He's a dreamer from President Hussein Obama, former President Hussein Obama. He reached out to the consular and gave them notification from Mexico when he got busted. But this man is a terrorist. This man wants to slaughter Americans. He wants to kill Jewish supporters and Jews. He wants to slaughter capitalists. He loves Bernie and Mamdani. That's another leftist terrorist trying to slaughter Republicans, Christians, you name it. The second wave would have killed more. As you know, they were going to use drones, have them blow up IED stuff, and then shepherd people into a certain area where they'd kill them all with snipers. They all moved to Fredericksburg, Virginia, to begin laying out the plot for the D.C. attack. They had all moved there already, is what I heard today. It's pretty remarkable. He even said he called himself the shepherd, this illegal did. He, in a group chat, he dedicated the chat to planning the attack. He said he was responsible for planning, organizing, and directing planned attack. As many and as deadly as we can get, he said, responded when asked by a fellow plotter about making drones with explosives. Authorities say he claimed to have a working drone. The goal was to hit and target capitalist elites and billionaires or politicians who received donations from AIPAC, the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee. Let me show you this, too. Senator Jim Banks was on the afternoon talk show where I am filling in this week in Indianapolis at 93 WIBC. And Senator Jim Banks told the Hammer and Nigel show that the senators who were mentioned in the threats were specifically mentioned because they supported Israel. This was an anti-Semitic, anti-American activist, an illegal, who sought to attack a few Republicans because of their political beliefs. That type of left-wing violence has no place in our country. It's the same left-wing terrorist violence from a Bernie bro who tried to murder and almost murdered Steve Scalise. It's the same left-wing terrorism of the man who went in, what his name was, like James Banks or James something. He went in, he bought a whole bunch of Chick-fil-A sandwiches. He saw the Southern Poverty Law Center called, I think it was the Family Research Council or some a Christian group in D.C. He went into their offices with a gun. He was going to murder them all and stuff Chick-fil-A sandwiches in their mouths. And that guy was another Bernie bro. Left-wing terrorism is the threat that is going on right now all over this country, as well as radical Islamist terrorism. And just like the brothers Tsarnaev, who were living off the fat of the land in this country, were given free food stamps, free housing, welfare, given everything, and they still hated us and want to kill us. And that's what they try to do, and the Boston bombers did that, as well as murdering police officers, the sons of bleeps. So here you go, inviting people in, Democrats, inviting people in that want to kill us and hate us. One more thing. This is from the Indianapolis Star, the newspaper there. Indiana lawmakers went to bloody UFC event. Bloody. They're trying to shame Republican lawmakers for going to the UFC 250 event. They were there to watch what some critics have likened to human cockfighting. How dare you? You know who does cockfighting? Illegals do cockfighting. But they don't go after illegals. They go after Republicans. They said that Victoria Spartz was there. She's a Ukrainian-American who's in Indiana's 5th congressional district, and U.S. Representative Marlon Stutzman from Indiana's 3rd congressional district, both Republicans, trying to tell on them or shame them. Wiley East High School. I told you yesterday, remember that we are responsible, the Four Musketeers and I, and other patriots who came and spoke month after month and called out the disgraced former principal at Wiley East High School, Tiffany Doolin, who for 2 years in a row put hijabs on with the Muslim students and tweeted out or put out on her Instagram feed, on her official Raider principal, school Instagram feed. I love this, in all caps, wearing the hijab. And then the third year in a row, this time in the third year, 4 professional Islamic proselytizers showed up, and they were passing out Qurans, hijabs, and understanding Sharia pamphlets to our students in the middle of a school day in the middle of school. And the student said she was overlooking the whole thing. Unbelievable. Well, she eventually resigned in disgrace a week after we did our Bibles Not Qurans event right outside of the Wiley East High School, passing out tons of Bibles. We passed out 300 Bibles. Other folks came and blessed us with bringing Bibles too. We would have ran out of all of ours. And so the students brought them all in. We handed it to them as they were driving into the parking lot, and they passed out 300 Bibles. Students all throughout the whole school were carrying around Bibles that day. We took lemons, what people meant for evil, and we did it for good by using God's power. And it was unbelievable. Fox News covered it. The New York Post covered it. WFAA TV Channel 8 covered it. Dallas Express covered it. And then a week later, she resigned in disgrace. But now, as we know, one of her assistant principals was arrested for trying to diddle 2 underage Wiley East students, grooming them, offering to pay them, talking about wanting to shower with them, have sex with them. The first student was, as soon as she walked out of the graduation ceremony, he texted her and was trying to get her to meet him and take showers with him. He said he would buy her lingerie and get her alcohol and wanted to have sex with her. He got busted for that. The student went to her parents, I think, and the parents called the police, and the police took over the phone and acted like they were her and nailed him. Then, when that went in the news and he was arrested, this disgraced former Wiley East principal, and I have his booking sheet here with his mug rap sheet on it, on a booking sheet, and his picture. Here it is. That's disgraced former assistant Wiley East assistant high school principal Zachary New. And what I reported to you yesterday, thanks to the incredible reporting at Texas Scorecard, with a woman named Erin. I can't remember her last name. She is really, 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 really good at what she does. And she reported that there's a federal detainer on him. The U.S. Marshals Service put a federal detainer on him. And so what comes out today via Fox 4 News is now the FBI and the feds have charged this grooming sick SOB. A second mom came out after the first arrest happened and said, my daughter was groomed. And it makes me so mad, though, at the mom. Why didn't you report this before, Mom? Why did you wait till it was in the news with somebody else, Mom? There were other victims, and they think there might be others. Don't not report it. Report it, man. Other kids are there. He's going after all these kids. The mother said that he was sexting the daughter. He sent pictures of the daughter shirtless, of himself shirtless. She sent pictures of herself in her bra and panties. They met at a Planet Fitness in Saxe in suburban Dallas-Fort Worth. And he made out with her and put his hands on her buttocks, she said. He's now been charged in that. And now there are federal charges from Fox 4 News today. There are new federal charges. This follows the earlier arrest that I just told you about. Those arrests were for soliciting prostitution from a minor in improper relationship with a student. Former Wiley East High School principal was arrested again and is facing federal child exploitation charges. Federal child exploitation charges. You're freaking gone. They should do this with everybody. Why just this one? There might be some really bad stuff we still haven't heard. Even worse. Wednesday, he was charged with 2 counts of enticement of a minor. That would be with the feds. The case is now being investigated by Wiley Police and the FBI. Is this why disgraced former Wiley East principal Tiffany Doolin resigned? Could it be that was the reason why she resigned? Because she knew this was coming? What did she know about this? Did she know something about this? Did she hire him? I think she actually brought him in and made him the assistant principal. Wow. What are they not telling us? And where are all the trolls that were coming after me, Marco Hunter Lopez, the young man who fought for all this and valiantly went in front of Congress and testified, went on Fox News, Glenn Beck, Will Cain show, just a hero, young man who did this whole thing and has just done so many great things that we worked with. I had the privilege of working with. But I also want to tell you, coming up next, we're going to get into Talrico. He literally was championing. Oh, no, you know what I want to do? I don't want to do a Talrico. You know what I want to do? I want to go into the Londoner pub because everything's been rosy and fun, watching all of our friends from Japan, the Netherlands, the UK, Croatia, wherever it is, come and have a blast. But now it turns out that there was a real jerk, and some people were jerks, at the Londoner pub on the night of the London match. We'll get into that in a moment. But first, I want to tell you that this show is brought to you by Blue Ribbon Roofing. Blue Ribbon Roofing is doing my roof. They're incredible. Here is John Hopkins, the owner of Blue Ribbon Roofing, and he is on the roof with me showing me why my roof needed replacement.
See that white line?
Yeah, what is that?
That's the fiberglass mat underneath the shingle, meaning all the shingle's gone. Now you're down to the fiberglass mat.
I never would have recognized any of this or noticed it.
Of course you wouldn't. It'd be like you handing me your microphone. I don't know anything about it.
Do you want to do a show for me?
I don't know anything about it. I got to depend on you.
I think you want to. I guess I'll do the show then.
Yeah, you do the show. And I'll do the roofing.
There we go. So John's a great guy, and as I mentioned with Jim a little earlier, Jim Dutton from Due West Foundation of Plumbing, one of my other sponsors. John Hopkins, here's John and his wife Tish, and then on the left is their son Trevor and his wife Jenna. The first person I called and talked to was Jenna, his wife. And then John's been coming over with all the work on the roof, giving me samples and going on the roof, inspecting it, meeting with the insurance company, doing a fantastic job. And his wife Tish is the coordinator in all this too. So they win, and that's them winning Best of McKinney. They win it year after year after year because they're the best. They've done over 25,000 roofs. They've been in business for 32 years. This is absolutely the best company you could possibly use. And by the way, I am sporting underneath this my Blue Ribbon DFW T-shirt. Where's the logo? Here it is, blueribbondfw.com. Look at that, and it matches with this one. If you want an incredible roofer, use blueribbondfw.com. That's blueribbondfw.com. And also, if your roof is about to be 8 years old, don't let it get past to 8 or later, because a lot of insurance companies now are only paying for, there's ACV, actual cash value, versus RCV, real cash value. One of them is we're only going to pay for what the roof is worth now, not the full replacement, just what it's worth. That usually kicks in 8 years. Don't let that happen to you and your roof. Get Blue Ribbon Roofing on your roof to inspect it like I did mine, because I needed one and I didn't think I did. And I'm also having a new fence from hail damage, new fence staining and all sorts of stuff, windows and everything. Okay, the Londoner Pub. Just go to blueribbondfw.com. Tell them Chris Crock sent you. The Londoner Pub, they have several locations. They have one in Dallas-Fort Worth. They have one in Mockingbird Station, which is where this event happened. One in Addison and another one. And there was a guy, the reason why they were flooded, remember I played this video for you yesterday? And they ended up having the fire marshals called and getting everybody kicked out. Now, this is not too rowdy yet, but here we go. This is before everything went to crap. Okay, so it got way packed and way overcrowded, and all chaos broke loose. I'm going to share the chaos with you first, but before I do, I have to share this with you. There's a man from England that set this up with the owner of the pub, and this man, after all heck broke loose, this man attacked the owner of the pub and then said, "I'm going to ruin you or destroy you." And he went to the Guardian UK and had a nasty story. Well, let's go to the facts, because unfortunately the goodwill has been gone to pot with some people. Here's when they actually shut it down. The Londoner Pub. This is their location at Mockingbird Station where all this happened, that I'll be getting into in a second. As you can see, they had to shut it down because it was way over capacity. The cops trying to kick everybody out. Now, while it looks peaceful and everything, some property got really trashed, and some stuff went down that wasn't good. I'll share that with you in a second, but it ended up in having 911 called. They were like way over capacity, and the fire marshal shut it all down. They reopened today at 11, but here's what happened according to WFAA TV Channel 8. And the Dallas Morning News. It's pretty nasty, actually. Dallas Fire Rescue told WFAA the bar was cited for overcrowding because they were over twice their allowed occupancy load. Management, at the direction of fire inspectors, exhausted multiple options in an attempt to get the allowable number, but the crowd was non-compliant. That is rude. The Londoner Dallas management acknowledged they had lost control of the crowd and decided they were going to shut down. Fire inspectors on the scene did not object, as they felt it was the only way to resolve the problem at that point. According to the pub, damage has occurred to the property and its landscaping. An employee at the Londoner told WFAA TV Channel 8 people were breaking things, standing on tables. They drank the place clean. In the Dallas Morning News says $29,000 worth of beer. They literally drank $29,000 worth of beer in one night, 5,000 beers in 3 hours. They drank a pub dry. The gathering was scheduled to start at 7 p.m. There was an organizer that worked with the pub, this guy from England, who turns out to be a real jerk from what I see. By 10 p.m., 3 hours later, they had run out of beer, forcing her to close her hours early. According to the messages between this man, John Gallivan, who was the organizer, and Miss Tate, who owns the bar, they shared with the Dallas Morning News. She shared the text between her and this English guy, Gallivan. Gallivan was, quote, fuming. He took his frustrations to the Telegraph, a British newspaper. They framed it this way: England fans thrown out of pub by Dallas police after 30,000-pound drinking session, which would be $29,000. The pub and police officials dispute this account. The pub and the police dispute this. So this is why this guy's a real a-hole. Customers were even allowed to finish their beers after the pub closed its doors, some staying for at least an hour afterward. Staff, she said, did not forcibly remove anybody. The pub has additional locations in Addison, Colleyville, and Colleyville. The guy Gallivan, who was the organizer from England, directed his anger toward the pub staff in his text to her, the bar owner, Tate, calling their behavior pathetic and blaming them for calling law enforcement because England had too many fans. Dude, the number is insane. The maximum capacity indoors is 245. The maximum capacity outdoors is 130. That's 375 people. They had double the numbers. I mean, they must have had 600 people there. That's a fire hazard and a riot hazard and all sorts of stuff. When you add alcohol into it, bad stuff can go down. Bollocks, said Gallivan, the British guy who organized it. He wrote in a response to Tate, the pub owner, saying the pub had to close, I'm going to destroy your reputation. When anybody says that, they're an a-hole. He is a jerk. You don't say that even if you want to. You don't say those kinds of things. That's a threat. Video taken by the Dallas Morning News after the game shows the TVs being shut off and fans being asked to leave at the order of Dallas Fire Marshal. And that was some of the video I played for you. So I'm still high on the World Cup, and I'm proud of us having like 7 or 8 games over the next 4 weeks. It's beautiful. I'm really proud of us. We're the 4th largest metropolitan area in the country, and I'm proud of that. And we're a great place to live, except for the heat right now, which sucks. All right, this show's been brought to you by IRSprob.com, IRSPROB.com, helping good people with IRS problems. Specializing in IRS controversy, IRS audits, and tax planning strategies. Use Randy Martin. He's my CPA. He's incredible. Go to IRSPROB.com, and I will see you tomorrow.